Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of The Message. I'm your host, Donatus King, and we'll spend this next hour with one purpose in mind, and that one purpose is delivering the message that God is Almighty. Everything that ever was, is now, or ever will be, was made by God. Everything that ever happened, is happening right now, or ever will happen, was made to happen by God. God has a master plan for all time and all creation. God is Almighty. The message is brought to you by, is produced by the Society of Knowledge Incorporated. The Society is an interdenominational, religious, spiritual organization. Our members come from various different religious and spiritual backgrounds. We have various different religious and spiritual beliefs. Although we come from different backgrounds and have different beliefs, there's one belief that we share. There's one piece of knowledge that we hold in common. And that's the knowledge that there is a being, by no matter what name we may have been taught to call that being, by no matter what name we may have come to know that being, whether that name be God, Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, Jehovah, nature, by no matter what name, we know that there is a being that possesses not some of the power, not most of the power, but all of the power. We know that there is indeed an almighty being. That's the reason we do this show, and the only reason we do this show, to deliver the message that that being that personally I call God, that being is indeed almighty. Today is February the 16th, 2017. That's right. We are halfway through the second month of the year. I repeat it, I think almost every week I say the same thing. It looks like time is just going by faster and faster. The older I get, the faster it seems as though time goes. But today is February the 16th, and I remind you of that fact because this show is an open discussion. It's a two-way conversation. We are live, and I remind you of that fact because you're invited to participate in this discussion, participate in this conversation. If there's something that's going on in your church, your mosque, your temple, your synagogue, your masjid, your place of worship, and you want to share that information with the world, call in and share it with the world. If it's something that's going on in your nonprofit organization and you want to share that information with the world, call in and share it with the world. More important than what's going on in your place of worship, more important than what's going on in your nonprofit organization, if there's something that God has done for you in your life, a miracle that God has worked in your life. That's right, I said a miracle, and I say that, and I mean it, literally a miracle, because the God that I'm here to tell you about is working miracles today. February 16th, 2017, God worked miracles. You know, I was looking on Facebook earlier in the week, and they had one of my Facebook friends put a post on there about how God worked a miracle in his life and healed his body. If God has worked a miracle in your life, call in and share your testimony with the world. You know, it may have been some type of addiction problem that you were struggling with. And you might have gone through all kinds of 12-step, 8-step, 7-steps program, and nothing helped you. It may have been a financial problem that you were going through, and you went through all kinds of counselors and everything else, and nothing helped you. It may have been a health problem that you were going through. The doctors couldn't help you, medicine couldn't help you, but God worked a miracle in your life and healed your body. Call in. Share your testimony with the world. Maybe someone that's going through a similar problem right now. You heard me talk about my Facebook friend, how God healed his body. It may be someone that's going through a similar problem right now that you had, and God worked a miracle in your life. Call in, share your testimony. Your testimony might be the one thing somebody needs to hear to give them hope, to encourage them, to make them strong, to help them to hold on until things get better. Help them to hold on until God works a miracle in their life. So call in and share your testimony with the world. I say share it with the world because this show, as I speak right now, is being seen not only here in the city of New Orleans, not only in the United States of America, not only in this part of the continent. As I speak right now, this show is being seen live around the world. That's right, folks, that in Timbuktu, and that is a real place. Timbuktu is a real place. They're able to watch the message live. And they're able to watch it live. You see that website that's on your screen, www.livestream.com/messengerdnk. I invite you to log that website into your browser. Lock it in. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can visit that website and see previously recorded episodes of the message. And no matter wherever you are in the world, most Thursdays, 7:30 p.m., you can visit that website and you can watch the message live. Even if you're in Timbuktu, you can watch it live and you can participate in the discussion. I also invite you to lock in our main website. And our main website, that is www.godisalmighty.org, www.godisalmighty.org. Lock that into your web browser. And 24 hours a day, again, 7 days a week, you can visit that website and you can see previously recorded episodes of the message. And also on our main website, and that's www.godisalmighty.org. On our main website, there are links to all of our social media outlets. There's a link to our Twitter page, a YouTube page, Facebook page, Instagram page. There are links to all of that, our discussion blog, all of that. So lock our main website in. I understand we do have a caller. Caller, are you there?
Good evening.
Good evening. That sounds like Brother Chris.
Well, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, brother?
I made it back.
You made, okay. All right. That's good.
I'll be gone again.
Are you going to be gone again?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we make sure that I remind folks that the prayer line and the Bible study is going to be closed down for a little while.
Yeah.
And when are you going to reopen, Brother Chris?
I'll be open March the 20th.
Okay, March the 20th. Okay. Let me make sure that I write that down. March 20th, Brother Chris reopens. All right. All right. You have something else you want to share with us, brother?
Yes. I just wanted to tell God is healing people right now.
All right. Yes, sir.
As we speak.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As we speak, he's healing people.
Yeah.
All right. All right. You're right, brother. You're right. Thank you, man. Thank you for that testimony. Thank you for that encouragement.
Okay.
All right, brother. All right. That's. I want to thank Brother Chris for calling in and sharing that testimony. So you heard it from Brother Chris. You know, God is healing folks right now. And you know the great thing about it. God is working miracles in people's lives. And God is not checking a book to see whether you deserve it or not. God is not checking a book to see whether you said the right amount of prayers. God is not checking a book to see whether or not you have tithed the correct amount. No. God is working miracles in people's lives that have never tithed in their lives. God is working miracles in people's lives that have lived the worst life that there is. You see, you can't earn a miracle. If you could earn it, it wouldn't be a miracle. It would be something that you expect. But that's what's so precious about it. God is working miracles through His grace. Not because you deserve it, not because you earned it, but through His grace, God is working miracles. So no matter what state of life you're in, you know, might be someone that's watching the show right now and say, well, look, I haven't been to church in 5 years, so God can't work a miracle in my life. No, you're wrong. God can work a miracle in your life, no matter what state you're in. God can work a miracle in your life. So call in and share your testimony with the world. All right, we have a full show tonight, and we're going to get started. I have some announcements, as we usually do. We have announcements that we're going to read off. But before we go there, I understand we have another caller. Caller, are you there?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. That sounds like Minister Antoine Brown.
You're right. It's Minister Antoine Brown.
How you doing, brother?
I'm hold here, but my phone went out.
All right.
Sorry about that. And I wanted to share this with you.
Mm-hmm.
Check me out on YouTube under Minister Antoine Brown Brings the Word.
All right.
You'll see my second show that I did for 2017.
All right.
Thank God for it. And that will be airing every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. 7:30 a.m. in the morning.
All right, 7:30 a.m. All right, that's great, Minister Brown. You have some more information. You have some more information you want to share with us?
Oh yeah, and I'm still looking for an apartment, and I want to share that I thank God for my TV show that comes on down there in New Orleans, where I'm trying to make a difference and bless other lives.
All right, Minister Brown, and I want to let you know that we're still praying for you to have a 100% complete full healing. We know that you had surgery, earlier this week or last week?
Early this week.
Earlier this week. And as you and I talked on the phone, and you told me that your body is healing.
Yeah, so far that I'm looking at right now, and I can't wait.
All right. So we go
live another full, enjoyable life.
All right, so we're going to ask all of our viewers to join me in lifting you up in prayer, Minister Brown, and praying for a complete 100% healing.
I appreciate that.
All right. You have anything else you want to share with us?
Like I say, I'm at the AM. They moved me from the Baton Rouge General Hospital and put me in the AMG building in Zachary.
All right.
I'm just thanking God for that.
All right. And we want to remind all of our viewers that you're still looking for another apartment. You have one, but you're looking to make a move.
Yep.
All right. All right, Minister Brown. Thank you, brother.
God bless.
All right. I want to give a shout out. I see you on Facebook. We've been joined by Sister King, one of my cousins. Thank you for tuning in. And I encourage you to share it with your Facebook friends and also leave a comment. All right, let's get into some of our announcements. Our religious spiritual study today will come out of it says prove all things, hold fast that which is good, coming out of the first book of Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 21. The God is Almighty worldwide message tour, Sicily Island, Monroe, Louisiana tour stops. We'll be looking at a little short video a little bit later on in the show. Mardi Gras. We'll be talking about Mardi Gras. We're in the middle of that season here in our country, and I was up in northern part of Louisiana last weekend, up around in Monroe, in Sicily Island, up that area. And they celebrate Mardi Gras up there. It's not just something here in southeast Louisiana. Our words of inspiration will come out of the book of Genesis chapter 42. We'll start in verse 28, and we'll see how far we get. Announcements, Brother Chris's prayer line. I'm not going to read this because you heard Brother Chris just now say that he's going to be closed down until March 20th. All right, there's our main website I was telling you about, www.godisalmighty.org. Lock that into your web browser, and when you go there, you'll see links to our religious discussion blog, our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So go to our main website. Minister Antoine Brown, you heard Minister Brown call in just now. Minister Brown operates a prayer line, and that's his new number, and it's 225-397-4964, and it's free. So if ever you feel in the need of having someone to pray with you, please give Minister Brown a call, and it's free, and he's ready, willing, and able to pray with you at that number. And if you want to drop him a message, you want to send him a note, a letter, you can contact him through the mail at P.O. Box 94 in Violet, Louisiana, and that's 70092. Peacekeepers of New Orleans, 504-723-3976. They operate a beef hotline. So if you know of someone that's having some disputes out here, call the beef hotline, and they will go out and try to mediate that dispute. So instead of people picking up guns and shooting each other, the beef hotline will go out and try to help them work through it, talk through it. We want to welcome our new intern. You might have heard for the past few weeks, we have been asking for an intern, someone to volunteer to help us with the show. And I'm so pleased to welcome our intern, and that's Miss Liesta Francis. Tonight is her first night on the program, but I want to thank her for volunteering, and I thank God for touching her, inspiring her, so that she would come on in and help us with the show. And as I said earlier, this is something that this is a multimedia. This is a multimedia production. So, not only are we on TV, but we're going out through the media, through live stream, going out through Facebook. So this is an opportunity to learn all of that. And I'm glad that Ms. Francis is taking advantage of that. Renaissance One is hiring, and that number is 504-243-1901. Rock of Ages Ministries International, Apostle Ronnie Bailey. His main website is www.ronniebailey.com. You go there, and there are links to all of his social media outlets. And I want to thank Pastor Bailey for looking out and giving us information, keeping us informed about the health status of Minister Antoine Brown. But that's Apostle Ronnie Bailey and his website, www.ronniebailey.com. St. John of Arc Catholic Church, 8321 Birch Street here in the city of New Orleans. His services are Saturdays 4 p.m., Sundays 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. Call 311 if you're in the city of New Orleans. Call 311 for smoke detectors. As always, I remind you, please, please, please do not leave children in your car. Even if you say you're just going to go in the store just for a minute, don't leave your children in the car. Not only could they suffer from either cold or something like that, but they got some crazy people out here that's going around snatching children and all the rest of that. So don't leave your children in the car. Glory Land Congregational Baptist Church, 4541 America Street, here in the city of New Orleans, 504-242-8444. The Reverend Adam Lee is the pastor teacher. Sunday school, 9 a.m. Worship services, Sundays, 10:30 a.m. Prayer service, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Bible studies, Tuesdays, 7:15 p.m. McDonald 35, still having a brick sale. And you see that website, support McDonald 35. Support that school and buy a brick. We're still praying. We're still praying for the tornado victims. And as for those of us that went through Katrina, you know that it's going to take a while for those tornado victims to recover. It's going to take years. So if you can go out, and I know there are a number of different things that are going on this weekend, opportunities for you to get involved, to volunteer, to help those victims. If you can do that, go on out and help those tornado victims. Renaissance on St. Roch, that program is still going on. Sad, 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 but I just want to make this announcement that the services for Reverend Dr. Norwood Thompson, and I made the announcement last week that he had passed. Dr. Thompson was the head of the New Orleans SCLC, New Orleans chapter of the SCLC. He's been very, very active in our community, in the community events. But he, as I say, he passed last week. He will be lying in state from 4 to 7 p.m. tomorrow at Rhodes Funeral Home, 3933 Washington Avenue, here in the city of New Orleans. There will be a viewing of his body, and that will be from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Saturday. So he will be lying in state at Rhodes Funeral Home tomorrow, but on Saturday from 8 to 10, he will have a viewing, and the funeral services start at 10 a.m., and the viewing and the funeral service on Saturday is at Second Free Mission Baptist Church, 1228 Burdett Street, here in the city of New Orleans. and the Reverend Dr. Warren J. Ray Jr. is the pastor. So again, tomorrow he's lying in state, and that's at 3933 Rhodes Funeral Home, 3933 Washington Avenue. And his funeral services and the viewing of the body will be on Saturday at Second Free Mission Baptist Church. The viewing starts at 8 and the funeral starts at 10. Religious spiritual study, hold fast that which is good. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Before we get to our religious spiritual study, I have one more announcement. I did not get an opportunity to write it down, but this announcement is that the congregation of St. Paul AME Church, and that's 8540 Coin Street, will celebrate Women's Month on Sunday, March the 12th, 2017 at 3 p.m. The women will celebrate the theme, Women, Past, Present, and Future. The guest speaker will be Judge Tiffany Chase. The public is invited. The Reverend Fred Fields is the pastor of St. Paul AME Church. All right. The God is Almighty Worldwide Message Tour in Sicily Island, Monroe, Louisiana. As I was telling you for the past couple of weeks that we were going to be out there, and we were out there this past week. Those of you that we're going to play a short clip, those of you that are watching on Facebook, if you just go look, I posted that clip a little bit earlier. It will not be playing on the screen right now, but while we're showing it in the studio, you can watch that clip. All right, let's roll that clip. Okay, before we roll the clip, I understand we do have another caller. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Messenger.
Yes, Brother Chris.
I just got informed from my friend who works at 311. She said they need some callers to call in so they could get registered for in case of an hurricane evacuation.
All right. All right, Brother Chris.
So also, please call 311 for that too.
All right. All right, Brother Chris, thank you, because even though we are in February, we don't want to wait until the last minute. So as Brother Chris just reminded us, call in now to 311 and register for hurricane evacuation assistance. It's not too early to call. Call in now and register. Thank you, Brother Chris.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's see if now we can roll that clip for the Monroe, Sicily Island Worldwide Message Tour Stop. All right. All right, test 1, 2, test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Okay. All right, we're here in Sicily Island, Louisiana, and we have Brother Merle. Why don't you say hello, brother?
Yes, sir. My name is Frank Fenster. I'm from Sicily Island, Louisiana. I'm gonna let y'all know that God is good. He don't want us to worry about nothing. We supposed to let everything fall on Him. We don't supposed to worry about nothing because He gonna handle everything without no problems or nothing. Put it on Him because that's what He want to do. That's the only one that's going to be able to save us. Okay. So I thank God for this morning and every day that I walk around and be able to help people and do things. And the devil, I know the devil will give you a blessing, but guess what? Shame on him.
All right, folks. All right. You heard it. We're right here in Sicily Island, and we're out here delivering the message as you see the sign saying that God is indeed Almighty. And we're going to have some more interviews that'll be going on a little bit later on, but just delivering that message that God is Almighty. All right. Well, welcome back. We shot that clip that you saw just now. That's a clip that we shot this past weekend. We were in Monroe for a while, then we were in Sicily Island for a while. So we have some more videos that we shot, and as the weeks go by, we will be playing them on the show. We'll also be posting them on Facebook, You know, so I invite you to, you know, if you're watching through Facebook or if you have your Facebook account, go to our Facebook page, and you can see previously recorded videos. And go to our main website. And when you go to our main website, you can link over to our YouTube page, and we have a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. Not only videos from throughout the United States, but videos from Rome, Italy, videos from Egypt, videos from Jerusalem, videos from Bethlehem and Palestine. So there are a whole lot of videos. So, you know, I invite you to go ahead and visit our main website, and you see links to all of those. All right. Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras. That's what time it is right now. Mardi Gras time. And we're going to talk a little bit about Mardi Gras. You know, that's a big thing here in the city of New Orleans. Mardi Gras in New Orleans is a big thing. People spend thousands of dollars. I'm talking about individual people spend thousands of dollars on Mardi Gras. When you start talking about what it costs to belong to some of these organizations that have parades, by the time they buy all their beads and their costumes and all the rest of that, thousands of dollars. And when you talk about everybody combined, it's millions of dollars that are spent related to Mardi Gras. Now, we're going to talk, you know, we all know about the festivities about Mardi Gras and all of the fun part and the parades and the beads and stuff like that, but something that some of us might not know is that there's a religious connection to Mardi Gras. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about that religious connection, but I am going to spend a little bit of time talking about it. All right. The Beau Gras, the fatted calf. This is a symbol that you see, and when you go to parades, you see this float, this fatted calf, and actually the name Mardi Gras, that says Fat Tuesday. So Fat Tuesday is connected with the fatted calf, and the fatted calf, that comes from just a little bit background, and some of this stuff came off the World Wide Web from Wikipedia and some other websites, but the Beau Gras, and that's what it's called, the Beau Gras, the fatted calf. In France, the festival was called Mardi Gras, meaning Fat Tuesday. This name comes from the ancient pagan practice of killing and eating a fattened calf on the last day of Carnival. It dates from the pre-Christian era when the Druids sacrificed offerings to pagan gods seeking more fertile women and livestock. This day was also known as Shrove Tuesday, from the Old English word shrive, which means to confess all sins, and Pancake Tuesday. The custom of making pancakes came from the need to use up all the fat, eggs, and dairy products before the fasting period of Lent began. Another connection, Lupercalia. And I invite you to do your own research and look up these things. Okay, one, look up earlier we talked about the fatted calf, Beau Gras, and now look up Mardi Gras. I'm sorry, not Mardi Gras, Lupercalia. All right. A popular theory holds that Mardi Gras' origins lie in ancient pagan celebrations of spring and fertility, such as Saturnalia and Lupercalia. And what you see now on the screen, that's Lupercalia. All right. This may come as a surprise, but Mardi Gras long predates Christianity. The earliest record comes from ancient times when tribes celebrated a fertility festival that welcomed the arrival of spring, a time of renewal of life. The Romans called this pagan festival Lupercalia in honor of Lupercus, the Roman god of fertility. Lupercalia was a drunken orgy of merrymaking held each February in Rome, after which participants fasted for 40 days. Interestingly, similar to modern celebrations, the Romans donned masks, dressed in costumes, and indulged all of their fleshly desires as they gave themselves to the gods of Bacchus, god of wine, and Venus, goddess of love. The masks and costumes were used as disguises to allow sexual liberties not normally permitted, as individuals engaged in bacchanal, the drunken and riotous occasion in honor of Bacchus. The word bacchanal is still associated with carnival celebrations to this day. All right, and we know that from what we were reading just now, isn't that something that we have a parade that's called Bacchus? Okay, earlier we saw a float with the fatted calf, the bogra. We have a parade that's called Bacchus. We know that a lot of folks get drunk and run throughout the streets during carnival time. We know that women and men expose their bodies out in the street during carnival time. So we can see the origin of some of these things that are occurring now in the year 2000, in 2017. And what I read just now, it said that this, some of these customs go back before Christianity. So that means more than 2,000 years ago, they were doing these things. So what they say, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Now, I'm not condemning, I'm not passing judgment on those that celebrate Mardi Gras, that participate in Carnival. You know, I participate in Carnival. I'll be at a parade. I'll watch a parade, not as much as I used to because I'm getting a little bit older. But I'll go to parade. And as old as I am, every now and then, not all the time, but every now and then I'll reach my hand up and say, throw me something, mister. But I'm not doing that in honor of any pagan god. I'm not doing that because of any religious or spiritual reasons. I'm doing that for the same reason like I watch a football game or that I watch a movie. And for those of you that are against parades or against anything relating with Carnival, I'm not criticizing you. Right? God's going to have each and every last one of us wherever it is we're supposed to be. God has each and every last one of us doing whatever it is that's designed for us to do. So I'm not passing judgment on anybody whether you participate or you don't participate. I'm giving you and sharing you some of the history about Carnival, about Mardi Gras. And as we go on, I will share with you some of the history about Easter. And some of you may be surprised to know that there are different festivals and different feasts associated with Easter that were going on even before Christ. So, we just like sharing information. And as we said when we started out, prove all things. Don't take my word for it. Prove it for yourself. Do your own research. Prove all things and hold fast that which is good. All right, so now we're reading out of the book of Genesis. We're going to start our words of inspiration coming out of the book of Genesis, chapter 42, and we are in verse 28. And where we left off last week, we were speaking about and reading about Joseph in the land of Egypt. His brothers went to buy some corn because there was a famine throughout the land. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time bringing us up to speed. Let's start right where we are right now. Genesis chapter 42, verse 28. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God had done unto us? All right. So now let's just talk about that for a minute. What has happened is that these brothers, Jacob's sons, have gone to Egypt to buy some corn. And their brother, they didn't recognize him, but Joseph, their brother, was the second most powerful man in Egypt. He had gotten to that rank. And he was the one that was in charge of saying who was going to get some corn and who wasn't. So all over the world, folks were starving because they didn't have any food. And folks from all over the world were coming to Egypt because Egypt had food. And Joseph was the one who made the decision as to who would buy some corn and who wouldn't. And now his brothers, they didn't recognize him because it had been a whole lot of years since they had seen him. And remember, his brothers were the ones that had thrown him in that pit, stole his coat of many colors, threw him in that pit. And now they come and asking for corn. So Joseph gave him a hard time. His brothers didn't recognize him, but he recognized them. Joseph gave them a hard time and called them spies and made them nervous. And they were afraid that Joseph was going to have them killed. See, because they was in Egypt. And Joseph's people were from Canaan, and they had come into Egypt. So now they're trying to buy some food, and now Joseph is acting like he's all mad at them. And they're scared. They're very scared. But then Joseph made a deal with them. Joseph said, look, I think y'all spies, but I'm not going to kill you. What I'm going to do is you leave one of you here, because there was 10 of them that went to Egypt, 10 brothers. Leave one of y'all, stay here. And the rest of y'all, I'm going to let y'all get all this food. Give me the money. I'm going to let y'all get all this food and go back to your homeland and get your other brother that you left at home. And when you get him, bring him back here to Egypt. And I'm going to let the brother that's still here, I'm going to let him go home with y'all. But to make sure that y'all come back, I'm going to keep one of y'all here. So they agreed to that. And they left one of their brothers there in Egypt. And now they're going back. All right, they're going back to Canaan. And on their way back to Canaan, look what happens. One of the brothers looks, and he looks in the sack, because they didn't have boxcars like on the train and stuff. You know, they had big old sacks. Like some of y'all that might have worked on the river or saw, they had big sacks, like them coffee beans being in big sacks. They had big old sacks. And the big old sacks, they would load that on the camels and on the donkeys. And that's how they carried stuff around. So one of the brothers on the way home, he looked in his sack. And when he looked in his sack, he saw all the grain in there. That wasn't any surprise. But the scripture telling us that not only did he see the grain, look what the scripture say. Not only see the grain, but he looked and he said, my money is restored. It is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God had done unto us? See, they were afraid. They were afraid because not only did they have the food in the sack, but the money was in there too. And they was afraid because now they're thinking, well, look, we done been set up. Somebody's trying to frame us. Somebody done put that money that we gave the man for the food, they done put that money back in the bag. And now they thinking that, wait, hold on, what's going to happen? These folks going to come chasing us. They already mad at us, don't trust us, call us spies. Now they going to come saying that we thieves also, that we done stole the money. We gave them the money to buy the food, and then after they give us the food, we stole it and put it, oh, they're afraid. They are afraid. And look what they say, what has God done to us? All right, let's see. Oh, where I went. All right. And they came to Jacob, their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them. See what I told you? Jacob was their daddy, and they lived in Canaan. So they went back to Canaan. So that's exactly what I said. All right. And they told their daddy what happened. The man who is the Lord of the land, see what I'm saying? The man who is the Lord of the land spoke roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men. We are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. Now see, what they were talking about, that one is not, and when they were saying that one is not, they were saying, look, it was 12 of us, but one is not. One is dead. And the dead when they was talking about, that was Joseph. Because they thought all them years ago, when they stole his coat of many colors and threw him in that pit, they thought he was dead. So now, when they're up here in Egypt, and Joseph is asking them about their brothers, they said, well, there was 12 of us, but one is gone, he's dead. And the other one is still at home with our father. And that's when Joseph said, well, I'll make a deal with y'all. There's 10 of y'all here, one of y'all stay here, the other 9 of y'all can go back and bring the other one here, and then I'll let all of y'all go home. All right, so now they're telling all this to Jacob. And remember who Jacob is? Remember who Jacob? Okay, Jacob is the fellow that wrestled with the angel. And Jacob is the one that later on, his name was changed. And his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. Oh, yeah. That's where we get the term and the name Israelites. All right? Israelites. Right? Jacob. All right. All right, let's read some more. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me, then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. All right, see, that's what old Joseph said. He's gotten scared. He said, y'all spies. And they were saying, oh, we're not spies, we're not spies. We just hungry. We just came here to buy some food. Joseph said, no, y'all spies. Joseph said, if you want to prove to me that you're not a spy, one of y'all stay here. I'm going to let the rest of y'all go back to Canaan, take all the food, but you got to come back here and bring your youngest brother. And when you bring your youngest brother, then I'm going to let all y'all go back, because you will have proved to me that you're not a spy. All right? So that was the deal. That was the deal. So now the brothers have gotten all the food. They've gone back to Canaan, and they're telling their daddy Jacob what happened and explaining it to Jacob. This is what happened, Daddy. But it's a strange twist to this, Daddy. It's a strange little thing happened, is that the money that we paid the corn, that money is back in the sack. So now, not only are the brothers scared, but now what's happening with Jacob? How does Jacob handle all this news? Well, let's find out. Let's read. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. You see what I said? See what I was talking about earlier? Look, the sons were afraid, and they was afraid when they just saw one man's money was in the sack. Now that they're home and they open all the sacks up, they see that all the money is in the sack. So they're afraid. Jacob is afraid. Look at Jacob. Look what Jacob is afraid, because now he's saying, well, hold on. Wait a minute. I've lost one son, Joseph. See, because Jacob thought Joseph was dead. I've lost one son, and now I've lost another son, Simeon, because Simeon is the one that y'all left in Egypt, and I'm going to lose him. And now them Egyptians want you to bring Benjamin to Egypt. Wait a minute. See, Jacob's really upset. He's really, really, really upset. How did y'all make a deal like that? What kind of deal did y'all make? So Jacob is going through some anguish. See, he's experiencing all these emotions. And I could just put myself in Jacob's shoes, and having the limited knowledge of a man, my understanding would be that this is a bad thing that's happening. That this is terrible. See, and I would experience those emotions. That's the kind of understanding I would have, because I'm a man with limited knowledge. No matter how smart I am, no matter what kind of degrees I have, I'm a man, and my knowledge is limited. See, but the one that I'm here to tell you about has unlimited knowledge, knows all things. And the one that I'm here to tell you about, and that one is God Almighty. God Almighty had a plan. And all of this that's going on with Jacob and his sons, yes, even his sons throwing Joseph in the pit, all that was a part of God's master plan. And because of all that stuff that happened, because of all of that, we are today, February 16, 2017, still talking about God and how great God is and how God worked a miracle and he saved the Hebrews more than 2,000 years ago. How God worked a miracle in pulling Joseph out of that pit. How God worked a miracle pulling Joseph out of that jail. How God worked a miracle making Joseph the second most important man in the land of Egypt. A foreigner, an immigrant, the second most important man in Egypt. How God worked a miracle putting Joseph in that position so he would be in the right spot at the right time to help not only his daddy and his brothers, but to help all of the Hebrew people that were in Canaan suffering from the famine. God had a plan, and it might be some things that you're going through right now, might be some things that I'm going through right now that I don't understand, that I classify, that I think of as being terrible. But I put my faith and my trust in God, knowing that God has a plan. Things are going to go exactly the way God planned it. That's the God I'm here to tell you about, that almighty being. So we see these emotions that Jacob and his sons are experiencing. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my two sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. Look what Reuben said. Reuben saying, look, Daddy, I hear what you're saying. I hear that you don't want to let your other son go to Egypt. I hear you. But Daddy, we got to do it. We got to take your other son to Egypt so the one that's still there, we can bring him back. Daddy, we got to do it. And Jacob is saying, oh, no, I ain't going to take that chance. I ain't going to take that chance. And Reuben said, come on, Daddy, you can trust me. Look, Daddy, if I don't bring your son back, if I don't bring both your sons back, then you could kill my two sons. Trust me, Daddy. Trust me, I got to do this, Daddy. All right. What you think Joseph did? Not Joseph. What you think Jacob did? You think Jacob trusted Reuben? See, Reuben is saying, I got to go get my brother. I left him in Egypt. I got to go get him. I'm going to figure some kind of way to bring him back here. What you think Jacob did? Now, those of you that have not read ahead, you don't know what Jacob did. I know because I read ahead. So now you sitting there trying to figure out, we talk about some drama and some suspense and intrigue and all the rest of that. You watch TV and see all that. They got that right in this Bible. Look how exciting this is. What are they going to do? Is Jacob going to let him go? Is he not going to let him go? What would you do if you was in Jacob's shoes? Well, let's see what Jacob did. And he said, look at this. Look the decision that Jacob made. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way, in the way which ye go, then shall ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. All right. Jacob made his decision. Jacob weighed his odds, looked at everything, and he said, Reuben, that's a pretty speech you made about I can slay your sons and all the rest of that. But Reuben, I'm not buying that. Not buying it. I lost one son already. Joseph is gone. I got another one that I might as well say is gone because y'all left him in Egypt. And who knows, them Egyptians might be trying to fool you. Them Egyptians might get y'all in Egypt. You done came back here and got your other brother and going back to Egypt. Them Egyptians might get all y'all out there and then kill all of y'all. And then where would I be? I'll be without any sons. I'll be a man that had 12 sons, and then I will have no sons. Jacob made a decision. And look, let's get some understanding. Let's get some understanding of the decision that Jacob had to make. And that decision was he knew that if his sons did not return to Egypt with their brother, that the Egyptians were going to kill the son that was left in Egypt. He knew that. So Jacob has to make a decision. Do I sacrifice the son that's left in Egypt, or do I take a chance in sending my sons, all of my sons, back to Egypt and take a chance at all of them being killed? That's a decision. And my prayer, I pray that God never puts me in a position where I have to make a decision like that. I pray that God never puts you in a position where you have to make a decision like that, because that's a lot of pressure. A whole lot of pressure. But that's a decision that Jacob made. I'm not going to risk all of my sons. I'm going to let that one stay in Egypt. And my prayer as we close, my prayer is that you heard me pray just now that God doesn't put you or me in that position where we have to make a decision like that. But my prayer is no matter what position we find ourselves in, even if we find ourselves in a position that we have to make a decision like that, my prayer is that no matter whatever it is that we have to go through, that God gives us peace, no matter whatever it is that God has planned for you and I in this upcoming week. I pray that God blesses you with peace.